Okay, now I know you probably train really hard for this, but you got to get away sometimes also. What do you like to do when you get away from what you do here?
One thing that's really kept me balanced is I've also been working while I've been training. I work 30 hours a week for Teach for America, and I've been involved with them for 7 years. The organization that's working to close the achievement gap in the United States. So we work in a lot of under-resourced schools, and our teachers are really doing amazing things, moving their kids like sometimes 2 years in reading or math. So it really keeps me grounded in terms of what this all means as a sport, and also just keeps the pressure a little bit balanced because I have something else that I'm really passionate about that I'm working on.
Okay, well, you just gave up 23 of the 24 hours in a day, so you probably sleep for a half an hour, but a half hour for fun. What do you like to do?
For fun for me is honestly just hanging out with my friends because I travel so much, because I train so hard. When I do have free time, I really want to see them. So hanging out with my friends is definitely like the #1 thing for me to do, going out in the city and seeing movies and stuff like that.
Okay, and what would be like a couple of things that people don't know about you? Like guilty pleasures, if you can say those on tape.
Guilty pleasures, I love like cheesy 80's music. So that's probably my biggest guilty pleasure. And if you see me with my iPod, I have a rule: no one can really look at my iPod unless they know me really well. That's probably my biggest guilty pleasure. I also like watching like really cheesy TV shows. This might be related to the 80's, but like those VH1 shows like Rock of Love and stuff like that. It's a good thing to take your mind off stuff.
How did you become such a child of the 80's?
I mean,
a child of the
I am a child. I'm 29, so I was born in '78 and grew up with the 80's music and everything else. And I don't know, just like fun music, fun times for me. So.
Can you use fencing in any capacity down the road? I mean, is there a practical experience that you can use it once your competition days are over?
I mean, I think one thing, and I talk with my teammates, it's about like figuring out what it means to be successful for me. So I think the most applicable thing is that I've learned a lot about myself in terms of the steps that I need to do to be successful and what that looks like. And I think that can apply. The process of achieving a goal and being successful, I think, is applicable to anything that you take on.
How many people have asked you about the Three Musketeers over the years?
A bunch. I am always, open to answering questions about fencing. I love the sport. I think it's a great sport. If you're ever in New York and want to try it out, I would encourage you to come down. We'll get you a saber, get you geared up, and get you out there. So, I don't mind answering questions about it. Fencing, obviously, is one of the smaller sports that can be a little bit not talked about that much except during the Olympic years, but I encourage people to really check out fencing and a lot of the small sports.
All right. And again, all those movies that you've been watching, to be a good fencer is a babe magnet.
Yes.
Is that true in real life?
Absolutely. I think if you're fencing and you're a guy or a girl, it's a great way to attract the opposite sex or the same sex depending on your preference. People love sword fighters, they love the outfits and everything else. So.
I might have to pick it up.